officially over. Finally, it's easy. Auto Trader.
Dancing crew, trip for two, nailed the final interview. Game with Doug, brand new mug. Come here, kid, give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. New COVID-19 boosters designed for recent Omicron variants are now available. Learn about eligibility and schedule a free, updated booster today at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Families in poverty are facing a global food crisis. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646.
If you want it for less, you've got to see Jeff during Jeff D'Ambrosio's Out with the Old, In with the New sales event with amazing deals on hundreds of Jeeps and Ram trucks. Visit GoJeffAuto.com.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, home of the most entertaining sports talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
So damn proud.
John Kincade Show on The Fanatic. Thanks so much for making time for us this morning. Some people surprised to find us working. Where would we be today?
In bed.
New Year's Day after an Eagles game?
Yeah, in bed.
What do you mean? But
Could be sleeping.
Did you get our birthday present?
No.
Really?
No.
Connor, you might have to help me out on this. So,
What do you mean?
you were out on Friday of your birthday.
Friday, my birthday.
Pat, you were out that day also, I believe.
I was, yeah.
What?
So, I started the show by saying at 9:30 we're going to give John his birthday present.
What was it?
Me, Ray, and the duet of Heavy Chevy and Connor all sang a Christmas song.
Oh,
on
you're
the air.
kidding me.
We said, John, this is for you. We know you've wanted to put together an
I
album
wanted
the
to
last
do that,
couple
yes.
years. So we each picked our own song.
You're kidding
and
me.
Ray started us off, and then I sang Blue Christmas by
Time
Elvis.
for you to shut the up.
And
kidding me.
then the duet, this was hysterical, of Chevy and Connor sang Baby It's Cold Outside.
Really?
Yep. you
Okay,
missed it.
I need to hear that. I'm gonna have to
No,
hear
I
it.
don't. I don't think we do.
I do.
It was pretty
we
good,
all,
Pat.
We all have stuff in our contracts about ratings, so let's not.
Yeah, let's
play
not
it
do
ever
that.
again.
I actually.
No, it got good
Good reviews?
response. Yeah,
Got mediocre reviews.
I like that. It's
like
good.
people said it was fun.
Far and wide, Pat. Far and wide, Pat.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
People
were
thought-
laughing.
Yeah, of course, people are laughing and having a good time with it. It's fun, I mean, it's good.
So
Thank
that
you
was
for,
our present
Thank
to
you
you.
for that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very, very much that you did.
How was the birthday?
It was good. We went to
PJs.
Pietro's
Oh, I love PHOs. Yeah.
in Westchester.
Yeah, good spot.
Had a fantastic Cajun ribeye.
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah, that was
You
really,
had me
really good.
Cajun.
That
Would
was
you-
really, really good.
What'd you get? Anything good?
Yes, Christina got me a night at the Borgata and tickets to Jerry Seinfeld.
Ooh, okay.
So we'll go see Jerry Seinfeld in April.
Nice.
So I was very excited with that. We've seen Seinfeld twice before, and I'm a person who'd rather have a event than
An
a
experience.
thing
Yeah.
than a thing. And so that was really, really that was very nice.
I saw a thing online that was, I felt like it hit the nail on the head. It was basically saying that guys are hard to shop for because anything we want, we just buy ourselves.
Yeah, it's
But experiences, we don't. Like, you're right. Like, would you go out and buy that for yourself the whole night and set it up? You might not do that. But, like, let's say you want a golf club. You're like, I'll just go out and buy that. I want a shirt. I'll just go out and buy that. But
I think it's a good
It's great.
right. An experience to me is always something better. Is always more of a more of a thing. There's this when we go to Vegas in the summer. I got the girls tickets to see this.
Chris Angel, Mindfreak.
No, there's this new three-dimensional. It's called a 4-dimensional show at the Wynn,
Okay.
where you sit in the theater. It's like a theater in the round. Did you ever go into the when you're at Disney? And you were just at Disneyland, but at Disney World they had a ride where, gosh,
Die Hard the Ride?
no, the little blue guy from Hawaii.
Oh,
Blue Man Group.
No.
Wingman Group the ride.
No.
It was Kyle Stitch. That's it.
They had
yeah.
the thing, and like they're breathing on your back.
Yeah, I don't like.
And
We
you're
didn't
feeling
do that ride
something.
many.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's like it freaks you out. Well, this new thing in Vegas is like this show where you feel like you're underwater, and then the fish are swimming right in front of you, and you're not wearing 3D goggles. It's in the thing, and there's like these sword fight is going on between these actors, and then there's people though. You feel like it's going on right in the aisle with you.
Okay.
And so
That
it's
sounds
something
cool.
new. So I got those tickets. I always like the event more. By the way, the Saturday games, in error, the Saturday games were picked.
Oh, they were.
The Saturday night game
That
is going to.
sound like it's the Eagles.
No, it isn't. The Saturday night game is going to be the championship game for the AFC South, which is going to be Tennessee taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. So that's going to be the Saturday early game already. So that's the late game, by the way. And Kansas City and Las Vegas is the early game on Saturday. So there it is.
That's poop.
That is. So that's where it's working there. Now, what do you think they do for the Sunday game?
KC Vegas.
Well, they're giving Kansas City a chance to secure the number one, move in, be the number one seed, I guess, and get that done. That's all I can figure.
That's gross.
That
Wow.
sucks.
Well, I mean, I get you.
I don't like that.
I'm mad.
I was hoping for the.
I'm mad. I'm
I was really hoping for the Saturday early game.
Me too.
So, which would have been great. So now, though, do they make the Eagles play the late game,
God, I hope not.
the 4:30?
Just get it over with.
Because do they want the Eagles securing the number one seed early and having the games between other teams not mean anything, or do they want the Cowboys to put up a win where then the Eagles have a must win to be the number one seed?
I think you nailed it.
I think the Eagles are going to be the late game.
Me too.
I don't think there's a Sunday night game this week, though. There is no Sunday night game. So I have a feeling the Eagles are going to be playing in the late spot, which I don't really dig. So
You guys like the Saturday games or the Sunday games better?
I'd rather play the Saturday game this weekend.
Just in general.
Yeah, no. In general, I would rather play the Sunday playoff game.
I like the Saturday games.
You like the
So do
Saturday
I.
game?
I like Saturday night games. Yeah.
You want the Saturday one?
Oh yeah.
Well, I think this pretty much is going to be. Remember this is that ESPN has the 4-5 game, the Monday night football game of Wild Card Weekend has to be a 4-5 matchup. And ESPN, what do you think they're going to choose? You think they're going to choose potentially Tom Brady hosting the Cowboys? Or do you think they're going to choose the Jags against somebody? If the Jags win the division or Tennessee wins that game, they're going to pick. I think they're going to pick the Cowboys and the Tampa
Brady.
Bay, and try to get the best rating possible. They pay the most money for the NFL package, so then that would assure the Eagles of divisional series weekend of playing on Sunday. But you could still get Dallas in a short week, because if they play Monday night, they're still playing in a short week in a playoff series.
It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, it's a way to look at it. I mean, but the Eagles would not play in the Saturday game if either of the teams that play in the Monday night game can't play in the Saturday game. So that means the Eagles would potentially move to the Sun.
Is this Tom Brady's last game?
It could be.
I think it probably is.
Could very well be. I mean, it's
What's his age?
All right, so we have good listeners here. Matthew says, John, you said Halloween. I'll take it back to September. I just got through the month of October. 4 teams would have lost, giving up 13 points.
Wow. That's good research by you, Matty.
Thank you, Matthew. Matthew's also working today. And he agrees with Pat, though as much as I enjoy your show, I'd rather be in bed this morning.
Yeah, I just got a text from my wife saying she's laying in bed.
Isn't that nice?
relaxing. Yeah. No, it's not nice because I'm not.
I mean, she's laying in bed relaxing. She's just having a
Well,
great...
get up and clean up the house because it's a mess.
It could be something.
No, she. So my wife is so geared on getting things done. Yesterday when we were doing pregame, she told me when I was leaving the house, I'm getting the Christmas decorations down. Today's the day. I got home, everything done.
Really?
Yeah.
See, now-
I just have to get the tree out.
See, now, Christina is a little Christmas person.
January
She does not-
6th.
She does not believe you take down the decorations until Little Christmas.
My mom was like that.
That was Betty, too.
Yeah.
My mom didn't either. So the house will be decorated until, I guess, Friday. So then then it'll all be over. It'll all be over at that point.
Oh, it's all
But
over at my
It was nice. Let's go to Comcast Business Hotline. Every day in business is a big day, and Comcast Business gets you ready for what's next. And we know when Zach Berman's on with us that we appreciate him being brought to us by Peruzzi Nissan, where their business is you. And Zach, I did not get to see you yesterday. I didn't get to cross paths. I looked down and saw you a few times in your beautiful first row perch there. But I got moved up to third row. So I feel like I'm getting closer to you. I can't sit at your lunch table, but, I'm getting close enough.
When you said you looked down and saw me, I thought that was a height joke for a second.
No, it was not at all. It's no joking matter where this Eagles team sits right now. I put it as a coaching staff loss yesterday. How does your perspective reel to it as far as your eyeballs, talking to players, talking to coaches? What did you think?
I hate to put it on Gardner Minshew because it's always more than one player, but I thought yesterday was more of a quarterback loss. I didn't think they received enough production from that position. And there were critical plays in the game where I believe if Jalen Hurts was out there and not Gardner Minshew, those plays would have been converted and the result would have been different. So I understand the coaching staff that did not have the best game plan, but I do think that if Hurts was out there, some of those calls would have been executed.
Zach, you and I have been around many teams that have started out really well. Been real times you see seams starting to stretch almost to the point of breaking. Are you seeing that at all with this team? And the reason I ask it is because last week Darius Slay comes out in the locker room and says something about Josiah Scott, and then this week you have A.J. Brown talking about Gardner Minshew. Are things?
I personally don't think so.
Okay.
And I haven't seen those post-game comments as indication of such, right? I think that was kind of honesty in the moment. I do think this is a really close team, more so than a lot of teams I've been around, and it's an accountable team. As far as where things are fraying, they were playing, I don't want to say over their heads, but they were playing above the mean in certain areas, in particular turnovers earlier this season. And when Nick Sirianni kept saying that they coach it better, that they drill it more, I didn't totally buy that because I did think there was some turnover luck, and you're seeing that. You didn't see that as much yesterday, although the pick six was critical. But 7 turnovers in the previous 2 games, they are not playing as clean as they did earlier this year, and there were things that were just going their way earlier this year that is not now. So there are, I guess, turnover luck and injury luck. It's hard to stay healthy, and they're missing some major pieces to this, and you're simply seeing that backup players are backup players for a reason. Every time a coach says next man up, I get the philosophy behind it, but there's a reason why that guy's the next man up and not the first man up.
I got a problem, though, with something that Nick Sirianni said. And the idea that he says after the game that, I don't get too high after a win. I don't get too low after a loss. We pretty much take them the same way every time. I call complete BS on that. When he has a big win, he's got the kids on the podium with him. When he's got a big win, he's jumping on top of the bench and making gestures towards the crowd and high-fiving fans and stuff like that, stuff that I don't see from other NFL coaches. So I don't buy we handle wins and losses the same way around here. At least I don't think he does. And you're around him more. Am I incorrect on that?
Yeah. No, John, that's a good point. And that's a good point. Nick's a lot of things. He's not even keeled, I would say.
Correct.
He's emotional. I think he's trying to suggest that they don't act like the sky is falling after a loss. And if you go back to even last year when they lost more than they did this year, that was the case. They would come in Monday, they would clean it up, and then they would move on to the next game on Tuesday. So if that's what he's intimating, then that is accurate. But as far as like his mood and his demeanor, he's much different after a win than a loss.
Zach, what do you?
So most humans are.
No, most humans
Yeah.
are. I just like it. Like don't tell me that you handle losses and wins the exact same way. I mean, I even said it yesterday. I said, whatever happens, there better not be any kids on the podium at this postgame. I said, I don't want to see any of that crap.
Zach, when you look at this team right now, what position concerns you the most?
Well, the middle of the field on defense. And I think this is something to really watch during the postseason because linebackers and safeties and coverage in particular, when you're going up against, if they play San Francisco and Kyle Shanahan, or you saw what Dallas did 2 weeks ago, teams are going to try to isolate you in the middle of the field against Josiah Scott in the slot. Depending on C.J. Gardner-Johnson when he returns, they're going to try to isolate some of the linebackers in coverage. I think that's where the vulnerability of this defense is. I understand James Bradbury got beat for that deep play yesterday. That's more the exception. But I thought going into the year, the middle of the field was the weakness on this defense. Gardner-Johnson really did a lot this year in terms of taking the ball away, being dynamic there. But going into the playoffs, if you want to see how teams will attack you, then I would definitely say the middle of the field.
Do you? We're trying to figure out when they're going to play on Sunday, and I'm wondering if they're going to try to push the Eagles into the late spot.
Yeah,
and have that. Is that where you're leaning also?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Almost like a World Cup format where you have 3 games going on at the same time, and San Francisco and Dallas still have reasons to be competitive in those games because they don't know the result of the Eagles game. If the Eagles play before them and the Eagles win, it doesn't really matter for those teams other than the other seeding, if you will. So that's what I am thinking. But the fact that they're not Saturday, I think, is a good sign for the Eagles. Probably a good sign for fans. I'm expecting it to be Sunday after. I think late afternoon, but we'll see there.
Zach, we've talked a lot about the play calling offensively yesterday and what we didn't like about it. But going a little deeper than just runs and passes, did they do enough to help Jack Driscoll against Cam Jordan yesterday?
Cam Jordan? Probably not. I mean, 3 sacks tells the story there, right? I think some of that was on Minshew. I thought he held the ball a tick too long on some of those plays, and it wasn't as decisive as he needed to be. But yeah, they could have done more there. Overall with the play calling, because I understand the run-pass question is a big question here, and they could have and should have run the ball more. New Orleans is more vulnerable against the run this season than the pass. I went back and I watched that game from last season when the Saints had the number 1 run defense in the NFL, and the Eagles ran all over them. And what you saw is that so much of that was based on Jalen being +1 in the running game, and that was what really did up that Saints defense. So I think I know it's not an excuse. You can still run the ball with just straight handoffs, but Jalen is so valuable in this running game that when you take him out, it's a different equation, and that's why I thought going into the game that they expected to challenge the Saints with Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. Those guys didn't touch the ball until late in the second quarter, right? So I think early on in the game, that was part of the problem. If you're going to pass the ball, you got to get the ball in the hands of your top guys.
Did it surprise you that no one's going to say anything, but do you believe that there was some player frustration on not running the ball? Because two design runs in the first half is ridiculous.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of that had to do with the defense not getting off the field on the first drive. But yeah, the 4 3-and-outs to begin the game, you can definitely sprinkle more runs in there for sure. I mean, most offensive linemen that I've been around prefer run blocking. I don't think that's a stretch to say you're going forward as opposed to going back, right? But I don't think there was frustration about the play calling as much as frustration about the execution. They couldn't find a rhythm offensively. And when they finally did in the second half, penalties were costly there. I mean, there was that one drive when they had 3 false starts, That can't happen. Pre-snap penalties are inexcusable. So I think that I think the execution and the mistakes bother them more than the play calling.
Zach, how close to 100% will Jalen Hurts be when he gets under center against the Giants this weekend?
I wish I knew because it's I think my wife would tell you it's consumed too much in my last 2 weeks.
Dr. Berman, we need a diagnosis.
But I think that look, they're not going to put him out there if there's medical risk. But the fact that they're in a win and in situation here, their backs are against the wall in terms of that 1 seed, I think there's certainly more of a push to have him out there than if they won yesterday. Maybe you would have seen a series or if at all, and it would have just been get ready for January 21st. Now, I think that as long as the doctors say Hurts can go, and I'm expecting that to happen based on the progress that he made last week, then you'll see Hurts out there on Sunday against the Giants.
There was some chatter yesterday on the NFL pregame shows that Jalen Hurts pushed to play yesterday. Did you hear or see any of that?
Have you met Jalen?
Yes. He's got that guy. Yeah.
So that's kind of my answer to that.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts does not like to be on the bench. Even going back to when he was at Alabama, when he was his rookie year. So Jalen Hurts wants to be the quarterback of your team, and I respect that about him. He wanted to play, 2 weeks ago, right? I keep thinking back to that game that he missed last year against the Jets with the ankle injury. He said Wednesday of that week that he was going to play, and so I think sometimes it's the doctors need to hold him back because Jalen wants to be out there.
Well, I know that from good friends who covered Alabama said that the stories of him being banned from the facility were true. That there were times where they told him, "Get the hell home. You don't need to be here."
That checks out. I remember asking around about Jalen this offseason, like trying to find some good anecdotes about him. And the thing I kept hearing was this guy is always at the facility. He's always about football. Like every day, it's about football with him.
What's your concern level about the Giants this weekend? 13.5-point favorites tells me that Vegas has already heard something about how this team's going to approach the Giants team is going to approach the game.
Yeah, I would think that the Giants treat this the way the Eagles did last year in Week 18, right, where the Eagles sat most of their guys against the Cowboys,
right.
And it would really surprise me if the Giants have their top guys out there. Now, I understand, that organization has a history sometimes of playing every game, and you saw that in 2007 against the Patriots when the Patriots were undefeated. The circumstances are different here, and I would guess, without close knowledge of it, that the Giants are going to sit their guys, and that barring just a complete collapse by the Eagles, they clinch the 1 seed on Sunday.
That would be a lot of fun. That would be good. Do you believe the Cowboys will play the Monday night game against Tampa if they do play that game? Because the Monday night game has to be a 4-5 on Wild Card Weekend. So
you know what? I mean, that from a ratings perspective, that would probably be the most interesting one. And then if that's the case,
that means the Eagles would have to play Sunday.
Sunday, exactly. Yeah. You know what? I haven't looked at that yet, but that would probably be the most likely scenario unless one of the networks wanted that Bucs Cowboys game for the Sunday afternoon slot, the 4:00 slot. But I got to think with that type of draw, the first Monday night playoff game, it would certainly make sense.
There you go, Zach. We appreciate you, buddy.
Anytime. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
We'll
Zach.
talk to you next week. And Zach Berman joined us on the Comcast Business Hotline, brought to us by Peruzzi Nissan, where our business is you. That's what they say at Peruzzi Nissan. They do
Interesting. Interesting when
the middle.
Yeah.
I saw your eyes. My eyes, too.
Yeah, I thought he was either going to go right tackle, the quarterback position being as there's an injury coming off. He went right to the middle of the field.
Middle of the field on defense.
Well, 24 for 24 and then 13 for 14 was what quarterbacks threw against the Eagles in their zone defense.
My eyes lit up, and I happened to glance to the side, and I saw you say it. Your eyes said it all.
Yeah.
That's Zach's got a very discerning eye.
Yeah.
And
Good point.
he's seen it all, so good job there, and we appreciate Zach. Football Mondays on The Fanatic are presented by Pierce Phelps. Whatever it takes, go to nopaybryant.com. We will have a chance for you to get in. What do you think after hearing from Zach Berman? We're going to hear from our jurors, too. 610-632-0975. If you're working today or if you're not, join us. John Kincade Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I know that it's cold outside. I know that the house inside can't feel cold, though. You need that furnace to be kicking at top velocity. That's why H&H Heating and Air Conditioning has their $59 gas furnace tune-up. And it's not too late for you to take advantage of this. And it includes a carbon monoxide safety check. You may find out that you need a new system to run at better efficiency. And H&H has rebates up to $1,500 or 0% financing for 18 months if you're a qualified buyer. Every homeowner needs a trusted heating and air conditioning contractor that they can rely on. You can rely on DelcoHVAC.com, my friends at H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. That $59 tune-up or new system estimate, it's there for you still right now. The long winter, it's still going to get here. We're going to be warm for like another week, but guess what? You know it's coming. So get it checked out now. They have over 1,000 five-star reviews online and a big one from the Kincade family. Go to DelcoHVAC.com.
The John Kincade Show.
I am so excited I can't stand it.
On 97.5 The Fanatic. Philadelphia.
See DallasStillSucks.com for details. All offers on approved credit. Plus tax 452.3.
New year, new car.
Hey, this is Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best?
Boy, I guess.
Easy, boy. Here we go.
New year, new car.
And they're off.
World famous Gary Barberas is storming out of the gate, and you can too in America's favorite from $12,990. Yes, from $12,990.
It's our first sale of the year with Jeep's Cheap. And that's why Birds coach Nick picks Barbera. Boy, I guess.
Just $199 down for only $199 a month. Gary Barbera discounts Jeeps cheap.
Oh, yeah. DallasStillSucks.com. New year, new car. It's our first sale of the year. Going Cherokee.
Crazy? Shop rows and rows of Borbeck in the Boulevard. Jeeps cheap. Just $199 down for only $199 a month.
Right, Birds coach Nick?
Hey, this is Coach Sirianni. Is Barbera the best?
Boy, I guess.
Go Birds.
DallasStillSucks.com.
Every small business owner knows business can happen anytime, anywhere. The office, the warehouse, or on the road. And no matter where it takes you, there's one solution to help your business thrive. Comcast Business Complete Connectivity. It's the largest, fastest, reliable network with advanced gig speed Wi-Fi and cyber threat protection in one solution. Get started with internet for just $49 a month. Plus, add Comcast Business Mobile and you can save up to 60% a year on your wireless bill. And ask how to get up to $1,000 in prepaid cards.
Flight 291 is now boarding.
Yep, you're going places. And when you get there, be ready to do business. The complete connectivity solution from the company that powers more small businesses than any other provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/21/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New 50 megabits per second internet. Customers only. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Gig internet required for gig Wi-Fi. Mobile Savings compares pricing of top 3 carriers.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that Auto Trader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with Auto Trader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on Auto Trader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. Auto Trader.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading Ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Amtrak is hiring. Amtrak offers competitive compensation packages and a comprehensive benefits program to meet your needs. Your future rides with Amtrak. Careers.amtrak.com.
Find out why the reimagined Empire State Building Observatory was voted America's #1 attraction by travelers on TripAdvisor. Get your tickets at empirestatebuilding.com/radio. Open daily, reservations required.
Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today, John Kincade Show on The Fanatic. Quieter than I expected today. Maybe everybody just decided to sleep in and enjoy the holiday.
Yeah, I think it's that last day of recovery or whatever it may be, just to catch up before you have to head back to the workplace. I think a lot of people are off today.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people are.
Yeah,
it seems like there's a lot of people not out and about today. Would be the way I'd look at it.
Yeah, there's no traffic coming in this morning at like 4 o'clock.
Nobody.
I expect our offices to be pretty empty.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's a company holiday.
Yes.
So,
well, it's a national holiday today.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
No
today's the celebration.
no banks, no nothing.
I'll tell you, I would trade this for Super Bowl Monday in a heartbeat.
Well, we already have Super Bowl Monday is a President's Day.
Really?
Oh no, that's President's Day is the week before. I don't know. It's like there's
like I'm telling you, any guy that gets up there on the platform of I'll make the day after the Super Bowl a national holiday, you're getting my vote.
Is it?
It's that simple, John.
I'm
a simple man. Just make it that.
You want it to be like it's that.
Gas prices, inflation. No. Make the Monday a holiday.
How about you have the Super Bowl on a Saturday?
Now that's...
See, I still think that's the move.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't know why the NFL doesn't do that.
And why do they start it at 6 o'clock and have it ending at 10? It's
because they want it in prime time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, they really should make it Saturday.
Saturday
would be the easiest day.
Super Bowl Saturday would be fantastic.
It'd be great. It'd be better than Super Bowl Sunday. It's like
huge.
It's you kind of when your team's not in it, you're kind of paying attention, but your mind's probably elsewhere. And then when your team is in it, you getting done at 10 o'clock, and if your team loses, it's like the reality of getting up for the next day for work, and you got to work and knowing that your team lost Super Bowl, and
that's not fun.
And then if your team wins it, you still have to get up for work the next day, but you can't sleep because your team just won the damn Super Bowl.
Yeah, I could see that there'd be a little bit of a problem with that. There's a lot of things that we could all like to see changed. That's one of them, though. That's a very simple one. It's very, very simple.
You would think.
Yeah, well, you would think. I want to hear another one from Nick Sirianni, number 3, Pat, where Nick Sirianni goes to. He says there's no excuses, but he also says this.
Anytime you lose a guy like Lane, obviously the same thing what we talked about with Jalen. That's the way this game is. But we feel like we have good depth. That guys are ready to play. We'll look at the tape, see how they played. And, obviously you always are going to miss, guys that are the best at their position in the NFL. But that's never an excuse. We got guys that we really believe in, and we'll go out there, and whoever needs to play next week, we'll go out there and try to put them in the best positions to make plays. And I'm confident we will.
So he spends the entire soundbite, beginning and end, talking about Jalen Hurts and Lane Johnson being out. But that's not the reason. I keep bringing it up, but it's not the reason. To me, it's like, look, it's obvious. It's not good. When you lose Lane Johnson, it's not good. When you lose Jalen Hurts, it's not good. But, I mean, then don't tell me, well, it's not an excuse, but. You're missing these guys. But, no, it is. I've seen teams overcome before. And there are teams that have been banged up, more banged up than the Eagles are banged up. You got to look better than you did. You look completely unprepared yesterday.
Inexplainable. You think about it as the game's going on, and you're thinking of, in our position, talking points. I was really getting concerned yesterday of, I don't know what to say about this game. The game gets over, and you're kind of like,
what is it?
What the hell was that? There's no explanation for it. There's no excuses, no rhyme, no reason. It was just crap.
It was bad.
I mean, it was horrible. it was so bad.
I still can't sort of believe that I saw it. Like, did anyone else have that feeling out there? I mean, if you want to join us, 610-632-0975. Like, I can't believe that I just watched that.
No, it was the equivalent of Michael Jordan, like going over from the field, of Joel Embiid going into a game and not getting a rebound. It was unfathomable. It made no sense. It wasn't familiar at all. I mean, that team yesterday, that's the one thing I had about it. When a team's going bad, no matter the sport, and you're a follower of that team, you look for something that's comfortable, that's something that you're used to, familiar, whatever. I'm not kidding you when I say there was nothing familiar about that team yesterday.
No, it didn't. I mean, it looked like nothing we'd seen.
No. You had a long touchdown pass to A.J. Brown, the longest touchdown pass of the year. Okay. Devontae Smith had 9 catches, 8 of them, I believe, in the second half, or 7 of them in the second half. But it just didn't seem normal.
Devontae Smith was the adjustment yesterday. Because that's where you could see in the second half, they started going to Devontae Smith like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And he was delivering. But there is one thing about Jalen Hurts. He puts A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in position to make catches where they do not expose themselves.
Yeah.
It's constant with Gardner Minshew. God, he put Devontae Smith right before halftime. Devontae Smith was the last player off the field at halftime. He was so shook up from getting hit on one of these Gardner Minshew throws that somebody has to totally expose themselves to try to get.
And that was another thing that I wanted, an area where I wanted to see some kind of change, was that you're watching the ball come out of Gardner Minshew's hands, and he's wide left, wide right, short, high. He wasn't throwing the ball well yesterday.
No.
So why do you keep doing it?
Because they want to pass.
I
told Connor this, and I don't think he wants to believe it, but he knows it's true. Nick Sirianni wants to be a passing offense, and he's obsessed with it. And he's just going to do it, and they're going to do it, and they're going to do it, and they're going to beat the heads against the wall until they can do it well. And to me, it drives me
with Gardner Minshew, please.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Graf and Media joins us. Graf, Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year, guys. Yeah, I think the other thing, too, is that Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman want to pass him off.
I keep hearing that, and then if that was the case, then last year they would have said to Nick Sirianni, you're not allowed to run the ball down people's throats.
Yeah, but they didn't have any wide receivers. So, like, what are they going to turn around and do? Tell them to throw the football or freaking...
No, they didn't have A.J. Brown. They had wide receivers. They didn't have A.J. Brown.
They had Devontae Smith. All right. Fine.
I mean, Jalen Rager. Jeffrey Lurie would have been telling them last year, I am not having you run the football 35, 40 times a game. If that was the case, he never would have allowed that.
But I think part of the thing you have to realize, too, is that was sorry, my son's
That's all right.
I think one of the things you have to realize, too, is like, now
it's the dog.
Yeah, my neighbor's dog is literally just outside. Can't escape, John. Anywho, my biggest thing is this, right? Gardner Minshew's butt. That was one of the worst quarterback experiences I've ever seen in my entire life. That dude, we could talk about the Eagles' defense all we want, I suppose, but they gave up 13 points. In fact, Gardner Minshew almost gave up more points than the Eagles defense did with the worst pick six I've ever seen a quarterback throw for the Philadelphia Eagles probably in my lifetime.
On average, two teams a month lose, giving up 13.
John, I can't he was so bad yesterday.
Oh my God, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Bob, you are so right in the fact that he's throwing something wide left, wide right. I mean, the A.J. Brown touchdown was an A.J. Brown comeback, right? Like, he had to come back to the football because he underthrew it.
Yeah.
There's no one else to blame. Yeah, could the coaching have been different? Sure. But, ultimately, when you look at it, right, if Jalen Hurts is in that game, they win by a lot. Why do they win by a lot? Because your corners and your safeties now have to respect the fact that Jalen Hurts can just pick up the ball and run for 120 yards at any given moment in time.
All right, Grant, feel better.
Tight coverage, go for it.
Let's feel better. We'll do all right. We'll feel a little better about it later in the week. Good job, Grant. We'll feel better about it. I mean, it'll come around. I hope that I'm just not being completely ignorant or completely naive. Because it's the idea of just that I don't have any concern that they're going to beat the Giants. I honestly don't. But
if you were to take out,
and I had none yesterday, so it sounds stupid to me.
No,
to even articulate it.
But it's the equivalent of taking Josh Allen away from the Bills and Patrick Mahomes from the Chiefs, and pick another top quarterback off of a good team. I mean, we're talking about perhaps the MVP of the NFL gone for 2 weeks. You're talking about the best offensive lineman maybe in all of football gone. Those are two huge losses, so they still could have won and maybe should have won that game yesterday had Minshew just been okay.
And he wasn't.
Just okay. They probably would have won that game.
Let's check out what our jurors have to say. Brought to you by the personal injury law firm of Flager and Associates. They care, they prepare, and they win. Visit FlagerLaw.com. Where are we going there, Mr. Egan?
Let's go with Matt in Bala Cynwyd.
Hey, it's Matt from Bala Cynwyd, calling in for jury duty. What a pathetic, annoying, frustrating, just overall bad loss. Gardner Minshew looked way over his head. The run game was not there. Miles Sanders, can't you just get one more yard to make that QB sneak not have to be a QB sneak, but also penalties on Landon Dickerson for holding, which clearly wasn't, but look, those are excuses. What we need to do is regroup next week. Giants, we win, we dominate, we take the number 1 seed and go from there. Fly, Eagles, fly, go Birds.
All right, I love that attitude. I like that attitude. I feel better about that. Feel a little better about that.
Yeah. Look, get all the bad words you need to out of the way. Sucked, and he said a bunch of them. Yeah, you have to. You have to put it behind you. You have to look at it as an anomaly. But you have to right this ship also. You got to get things better. This offensive line, you have to tighten up. Middle of the field defense, like Zach pointed out. What are we doing there?
I still keep going back to that.
I know. I'm a little shook on it.
Yeah, because he considers that the biggest.
Yeah.
And it's hard to argue. So, where are we going next, Pat?
Let's go to our buddy Noah.
Hey, guys, it's Noah. What a crappy way to start 2023. With everything that was on the line, this is the first loss this season that really, really hurts. I know Minshew wasn't good, and that pick six was terrible, but I put the blame for this loss squarely on the coaching staff. That was an absolutely terrible game plan, and there are no excuses for that. I'm sure that with Hurts coming back, we'll beat the Giants and take care of business next week, but it never should have come down to that. Damn, this sucks. Go Birds.
Good job, buddy.
It's funny. They're 13-3. Okay, it's coming down to the last game of the season to decide if you have the number 1 overall seed. If you would have just thrown that out there, I don't think any of us would have said, oh, that sucks.
No, that's what I wrote this morning for the website.
Yeah.
It's the way we got here.
Right, exactly. And who was it that said it? Was it McManus that said it to us? Any concerns? I think we asked him about a month ago. Any concerns? And he said, yeah, that there's still a lot of the season to go and they're playing so well. Like there's still a long way to go.
Too much football to be played.
Yeah, and what can happen? Well, what happened is you got a couple of injuries. What happened is you're not playing your best football right now. It has to be righted.
There you go. Thanks, Flager and Associates. We appreciate you sponsoring the jury there. I know one thing is that Christina said something to me yesterday about the it was along the lines of, isn't it about where you end up, not how you got there. Because
is she talking sports here, John?
Yeah,
or was
like
she
the
talking
idea is that
something else?
if you lost one game in September, one game in October, one game in November, would you feel differently about the 13-3 than losing the last two games? And I said, absolutely, because it matters. And she goes, but you didn't have Jalen. You lost two games without Jalen, so what difference does it make? You lost two games without Jalen. It's not like you really lost them. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, without Jalen.
Yeah, and if Dallas had one less win or if whatever, and you had this division clinched already, we'd be fine.
We wouldn't even be thinking about it, in the same way. Dre in Upper Darby joins us on The Fanatic. Dre, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How y'all doing? Happy New Year.
Hey,
Happy
buddy.
New Year, buddy.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about abandoning the running game, and it's almost like we're getting too cute and we forget about the run. Now, I get that we got A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and Smith, but give Miles Sanders the ball, get downfield, then start doing short passes. But honestly, I kind of seen this loss coming because we were overlooking New Orleans, and they're still fairly a good team. And honestly...
Do you think they overlooked them?
Yeah, honestly.
You really do? You think they overlooked them? I do not. I think they just got their ass kicked.
Yeah, and Nick Sirianni is just getting too cocky, and Gardner Minshew, I like him, but he was overthrowing, underpassing, he almost got Devontae Smith killed.
Oh, he did right before halftime.
Yeah, and I'm just not feeling that. So hopefully we can close out next week, get the bye, but if not, maybe we just gotta win out on.
There you go.
And get our minds focused.
Yeah, I mean it could work, Dre. I mean thank you for your call. Happy New Year. It can be part of it. I do believe I don't believe they overlooked them. I don't believe that was the case. You do.
Yeah.
There was something mentally that wasn't right.
Yeah, and they came out the second half, and even the announcers said, it. Geez, did a couple of guys in Mummer's gear take the field in the first half? Because this is the Eagles that we've come to know. But that team did not look like the team that went 13-2 on their way to the link yesterday.
I'll give you
in
that.
The first half. I mean, they looked completely disjointed and lost.
Yeah, when the offensive line has those penalties that they did, and we're talking about penalties before a play starts, and
most of them were in the second half, right? 3 of them, I think, were in the second half.
It's just, where is your mind? Like, what's going on? And you said it earlier, John. They had a full 2 weeks with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. The cadence shouldn't be a problem. It's not like you're hearing a different voice all of a sudden yesterday. Where were you mentally? Where were you? They just weren't fit to be out there playing yesterday as far as mentally. And that does bode to me that they overlooked the Saints.
Man, that's not something I want to be hearing, honestly. Especially from leadership.
No.
Of the team. I don't
God, no.
Hey, Josh is joining us on The Fanatic. Josh, how are you, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good to hear from you, man. What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to touch on some points that this game that we're going into next week against the Giants is definitely a big one. We have Hurts coming back from injury, and it's a must-win game, and he has to basically play the game of his life, Also,
how confident are you that happens?
Oh, yeah, I'm very confident, man. We're going into next week, and we're going to win this one, but just want to say, it is a big game for us. This Saints loss has definitely hurt us because we had their number 1 pick, and now this loss just pushed us back, in the first round also.
What do you mean? Why do you mean it pushed you back? I don't understand.
We had the first round pick from the Saints.
Oh, the Saints pick. Yeah, that was screwed up. That was screwed up terribly.
Yeah, it's definitely a devastating loss.
All right, buddy. We appreciate you. Pat, I almost want to put a moratorium, and one of my friends was suggesting it to me on, we've been dreaming about that pick and tracking that pick, and then now it ends up being like nothing.
Yeah.
That is a bunch of wasted energy.
And the caller's right. I mean, that was one of my first thoughts when they lost the game was great. Like, you were banking on this being an opportunity to not only get the win, but to get a better pick. And you crapped the bed on all fronts. And we literally saw the difference that one win can make when the Eagles lost. They threw that game against Washington a couple of years ago. You went from pick 12 to pick 6, which ended up landing
Could you not
Devontae
say
Smith.
pick 6 today, please?
Sorry. But it ended up landing you Devontae Smith ultimately and an extra first-round pick. It's just the trickle-down effect of losing yesterday's game is so much more than just home field advantage. I mean, you're going to feel that in April. It sucks.
I got it. I got you.
And I don't even care. Like, the days of dreaming about that pick being top 5 are gone to me. But now the hope of it being even top 10. Now you're looking at
now
it being,
top 10's done. I don't think it can be top 10.
Now you're looking at it being, 14, 15. That's fine. But it's just not where we were a couple weeks ago, which was, oh my God, Will Anderson and, auction and all that. No, that's out the window now because you couldn't run the ball.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
You chose not
to run the ball.
Yes.
My apologies.
You refused to run the ball is the thing. That's the big thing, that you just refused. You were arrogant. And to me, that was arrogant. Completely arrogant.
I find myself yelling it too much or mumbling it too much, so I try to withhold saying run the ball. But I do find myself doing it. And yesterday, my God, in the first half, that's all I was doing. Run the ball.
And I know it's funny, as Andrew will be on later on today, and I know it's something that always annoys him. He goes, the old heads, they all want to run the ball. And I get it. The guy that's like screaming run the ball in the first possession, and they're screaming and they're complaining about what's, the play calling. But yesterday, it was absolutely absurd that they weren't running the football.
Did you notice yesterday at the game, John, because they didn't show anything on TV, was Miles Sanders... I don't want to say hurt, but was he on the sideline adjusting? Maybe the knee brace?
No, because we kept watching it. In fact, the people that I sit with, we were watching it and kept watching for it, going, wait a minute, how's Miles? Maybe they're protecting Miles. And Miles, at one point, he's like looking. He does one of these things, and I'm great for the radio audience as I'm doing a gesture where he's sort of like is touching his shoulder pads, like. What the hell?
Yeah, there was a couple.
What's going on?
A couple of 3rd and 3 plays where they had Boston Scott in the game, and I'm like, I understand you want to relieve once in a while, but it was at weird times. Like I'm saying, why don't you have your best back on the field right now? I don't get their substitutions at times with that. The whole running game thing. It is confusing to me.
The running game thing. Well, it's the truth.
Yeah, it was. Last year, I didn't like the set. I don't know. Remember, we talked about it last year. And I brought it up this year. There should never be a series started where you don't have your best running back on the field.
I would say that's fair.
Yeah, but it happens. And it continues to happen with this Eagles team. They'll start a series with Boston Scott out there. I don't get it.
No, I don't understand.
I just don't.
It's very frustrating. And right now, I mean, that's where we're at. It's a very frustrating loss. And again, I don't want to overreact to the way the way it happened. I'm willing to overreact to. The fact that it happened, I'm not. Does that make sense? I don't want to. The way it happened yesterday, I can overreact to. The fact is, I truly believe they're going to get the number 1 seed, and then we're going to see what. Then we're going to see what they're all about.
Yeah, that's why I want to see. That's why I don't mind that next week you're going to have every available player out there for you.
Right.
I don't mind that you're going to play a must-win game and then have a week off. Like we keep looking at all they could have had. They're still going to have a week off. They win next week. They have a full week off before they have to play again. That's huge. Okay, you're not getting the 2 and maybe the 3 weeks off, but you are getting that 1, and your quarterback just came off having 3 weeks off.
Hey, you want to get in with us, you can. 610-632-0975. We got around an hour to go here, and we have a lot of things we want to get to that we've been discussing. Hey, it's tough. Eagles must play Sunday, and when you heard Zach Berman, he believes it's going to be a late game also. I think they're playing the 4:15 window, 4:05, 4:25, whatever it is. John Kincade Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I know this. Things are heating up in Philadelphia sports-wise. All of a sudden, the Flyers got hot. Sixers have a big game with the Pelicans tonight. Odds, bets, slots, and games coming right together in the palm of your hand. It's the Parks Casino Sportsbook and Casino app. BetParks is your one-stop shop, and you can get a $750 risk-free wager. Sportsbook bonus comes back to you if your first bet isn't a winner. So download the app and start playing instantly today. The individual player performances, that's where you always are able to cash in. If you have a good feeling on your team, get on board with that. Odds, bets, slots, and games right in the palm of your hand. If you're interested already, 13.5-point favorites on Sunday. That sounds crazy, but the Eagles are sitting in a great spot. Be a part of the action. Get the BetParks Sportsbook and Casino app. You got to be 21 and present in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. See BetParks.com for full terms and conditions. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The John Kincade Show.
Talking sense into people isn't really my thing. In fact, I'm better at the opposite.
On 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
You've heard about the pills, the needles, even the surgery. But have you heard about the next big thing in ED treatment? Focused shockwave therapy uses pulses of energy that travel faster than the speed of sound to penetrate deep inside your body and activate the growth of new blood vessels and tissue on a cellular level. And it's available right now at Forge Medical Group, Philadelphia's leading provider of ED treatments. Focused shockwave therapy is safe, simple, and painless with no drugs, no surgery, no injections, and no side effects. Forge Medical Group will create a custom treatment program that combines focused shockwave therapy with acoustic wave therapy for proven, long-lasting results for as little as $300 a session. Get your confidence back with help from Forge Medical Group. Appointments fill up fast, so call Forge Medical Group now at 610-632-8181. 610-632-8181 or ForgeMedicalGroup.com.
If you want it for less, you've got to see Jeff. Number 1, Jeff D'Ambrosio in Destination Downingtown during Jeff D'Ambrosio's Out with the Old, In with the New sales event. Find out why Jeff is number 1 with the best deals on hundreds of Jeeps and Ram trucks with zero down or payments as low as $149 a month. Jeff beats his competitors' prices every day. And during the Out with the Old, In with the New sales event, you can save up to $10,000 on in-stock Jeeps and up to $13,000 off Ram trucks. And remember, credit problems are no problem at Jeff D'Ambrosio. Their credit specialists will work hard to get you approved. Jeff and his team wish you a happy and healthy new year and thank all their customers for an incredible 2022. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Nobody gives you more. Visit GoJeffAuto.com. GoJeffAuto.com. $149 per month for 72 months at $699%. Tax and tax additional. 2012 Ford F-150, 2009 and Jeep Grand Cherokee sale price $87.50. Up to $13,000 off select Ram trucks. Must qualify. See dealer for details.
Well, folks, it's the new year, and that means it's time for all of us to take stock of our goals for 2023 and beyond. And this time next year, guess what? Well, you could be a graduate of CSB Media Arts Center and one step closer into your dream career in the broadcast media industry. Hey, it's Connor Thomas, and I'm a very proud CSB graduate, and CSB is molding a new generation of professionals that are shaping the future of the broadcast media industry. Do you want to do what I do? Well, you could be next. CSB offers hands-on, learn-by-doing training, podcasting, audio and video production, radio, television, sports, and more. And it's in months, not years. CSB's training, well, it gave me the skills that helped me land right here at the Fanatic. And they can do the absolute same for you. Listen, college isn't for everyone, and certainly neither is student loan debt. There's no lecture halls here, just studios. So this year, make the New Year's resolution that I did back in 2019. Invest in yourself and your future. It was the best decision I ever made. Schedule your tour at GoCSB.com. CSB Media Arts Center in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. CSB Media Arts Center is approved for veterans training. GoCSB.com.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can find options that fit your budget, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, like when I hold the door for someone. Sure, it may be weird if I don't time it right and they're a little too far away and now they're running. And we're both asking ourselves, is it worth it to run instead of just, letting them open their own door?
but still, it's the right thing to do. So get options based on your needs with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
When you hire your local CertaPro painters, you get the power of doing it right. Detailed project proposals, excellent customer service, and trusted professionals who get the job done on time and on budget. The power of experience. We're kings of the scaffolding and pros with the stucco. We've been there, done that. Get your project started at CertaPro.com and get the power of pro.
CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Home improvement contractor registration numbers are available at CertaPro.com.
That ding can mean any number of things. Find out at your local Meineke and save $10 when you spend $50, $20 when you spend $150, and $50 when you spend $400. For tires, brakes, batteries, exhaust, and more, trust Meineke, doing car care right.
What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, home of the most entertaining sports talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Let's see what we got going for you here. 9 o'clock hour of the John Kincade Show is brought to you by the Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag, in case you missed that. Get yours saying Home Depot and Lowe's. And for details, go to Bagster.com. If there was ever a game for the Bagster, it was that one.
Oh, yeah.
That was clearly one for the Bagster.
I tried to remind myself that every single team in the NFL is going to have that kind of game where they just don't show up. But it's, for me, it's the fact that you have so many other, if you win that game, there's so many other things that break your way of resting starters, the draft pick situation with the Saints. Like, it was just the biggest missed opportunity. I can take the Washington game. If they had lost against Washington, that's one thing. But you lose against the Saints the way they did in that spot, it's throw it all in the back.
Bills lost to the to your point. Bills lost to Miami. Bills lost to the Jets. Bills lost to Minnesota. And they lost every single one of those games with Josh Allen at quarterback. The Eagles have lost 2 of their 3 games this year with their backup quarterback.
Yeah, Chiefs lost to an Indianapolis team.
Yeah, the Chiefs lost to Indianapolis.
Right?
Correct.
Think about that.
Chiefs lost to Indianapolis. Chiefs lost to Buffalo. Chiefs lost to Cincinnati. And by the way, if Cincinnati beats the Bills tonight, then Cincinnati beat the Chiefs and the Bills.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're 11-4. Their receivers are now healthy.
Yeah,
and they have a great receiving trio. Yeah, they're fun.
I've told you guys before, like what I always end up when I get free bets from BetMGM, I always put it on futures bets. Early in the season, I was loading up on the Eagles, and then I started betting the Chiefs a little bit to hedge on the AFC side, and I've since been putting my futures bets on the Bengals, just in case.
I have a feeling you could cash in a few of those down the line. Green Bay, Dallas lost to Green Bay with their starting quarterback. Dallas lost to Jacksonville with their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you're looking at this, when there is perspective to it, it's hard to have perspective in the moment. But you got some perspective now, though.
There's a reason teams don't go through seasons with just 1 and 2 losses. It rarely happens. And it's because of that. You can't be on top of your game for 16, now 17 weeks. And that's the reason your best records in the NFL usually hover around 3-4 losses.
Pat wants to look at 2023 and look ahead a little bit. And let's get to Pat's point of view on this, because I think it spins things maybe potentially a little more positively.
This is Pat's point of view. Here's Pat.
Okay, yeah, might not be the best day to do this because a lot of people are probably like, shut up, Pat.
I still like it.
Yeah, which, I mean, a lot of people would say that anyway, shut up, Pat. But just to try to bring some positivity to today's show and not be all doom and gloom, looking back on 2022 was amazing. Now, it didn't end with a championship, but looking at the success of all the teams, Phillies being 2 wins away, the Union, the Eagles being 13-2 entering 2023, and now they're 13-3, obviously. Sixers acquiring Harden. It was a really unbelievable year in Philadelphia sports. So as we enter 2023, what are you guys most looking forward to? And I want you to consider the entire calendar year. So not just the Eagles playoff, but you need to factor in the Eagles playoffs, the drafts, and next season as well. With the Sixers, same thing. With the Phillies, same thing. And no one's looking forward to the Flyers except ping pong balls.
I don't buy into the Sixers, so it's Phillies season. Everything has me thinking about Phillies season and the excitement of Phillies season and how they match up, and we'll get into it later on this week. Some of the, how are they stacking up within the National League East and things like that. And my mind is brought to the Phillies and seeing what Trey Turner does to this lineup, and that's where I'm at because I do not buy into the Sixers.
I was sporting my Trey Turner jersey.
You were? You found one?
Yeah, I found one, and I bought it. And I was sporting that in Disneyland. And I asked a guy for help at Disneyland that worked at Disney. He goes, I can't help you out. I said, why? He said, dude, your team's signing all my players. So he was a Dodgers fan. He had no idea I was even wearing the Trey Turner one. So then we joked around and we were walking. He goes, oh my God, you already have it?
See that?
I was like, yeah, dude. I'm pumped. Like, I'm so pumped for this season. This is the season I'm most pumped for since probably 2011 when they had the 4 aces.
There you go.
I may go with the Phillies also. Although this Eagles playoff run, I'm lying. I'm looking most forward to this Eagles playoff run. And I know we're talking about the whole year.
Right, exactly.
But this is part of that year. This is a season the likes we've rarely ever seen with a Philadelphia Eagles team. So, yeah, I'm going to go with this playoff run to see what it is.
So as much as I was just saying how excited I am for the Phillies to return, and I am, I also have to go with the Eagles in the calendar year. Looking at the playoff run, but not just the playoff run, the NFL draft coming up, and I love watching how Howie Roseman maneuvers a cap. His ability to just search around his under his car seat and find $16 million in cap space. They have a lot of free agents that are poised to, leave. James Bradbury, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Javon Hargrave's a free agent, having a career year. So with 2 first-round picks, it'll be interesting to see how he, recoups some of the missing pieces, who he re-signs, the Jalen Hurts extension, and then obviously the next season after. Moving off of what we have coming up in January and February, looking at how this team improves with this young core in September will be interesting too. So looking at the entire landscape, I would probably put Eagles 1, Phillies 2, and then Sixers 3. Because the Sixers are just out of assets at this point. The NBA trade deadline's going to come up. And
I'm not buying into them. Now maybe that'll change. Maybe
if they get out of the second round.
Maybe they're going to – but maybe they're going to make me a believer down the stretch that I'm going to be like, okay, I'm seeing something different about them. But I just believe the Sixers have a little bit of a malaise to that roster that I'm not buying into.
For me, John, it's like I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Embiid play at an MVP level and should have won it.
Yeah.
I've seen Harden and Embiid in the pick and roll game. I've seen Tobias Harris take the highs and lows. I've seen Shake Milton flash before. Like, I've seen all of this. And it just led to a second-round exit. So at this point, it's similar to what Phillies fans were dealing with before they got over the hump in the playoffs. It was the malaise of, okay, they're in it, we know. They're game out. But eventually, you got to get over the hump. And for me, for the Sixers, it's you got to get over that hump of the second round because playoffs are a given. They'll make the playoffs. They'll win the first round. But then it's who do they match up in the second round. And until they get over, it's that malaise I think will stick.
Does that malaise come because of, Pat, you described it perfectly, and we could have taken you back to 2010, and you would have been describing Andy Reid.
Yeah.
So has that hardened us to that? Yeah, sure. Okay, 10, 11 win, 12 win seasons all the time. Great. But are they going to get a Super Bowl? Are they going to, they're going to finally win a Super Bowl? You're right, though. These Sixers seasons of 50 wins mean nothing if they don't win in the second round.
And it doesn't. I'm tired of it.
It was like the Flyers early in the 2000s of getting a Stanley Cup. And then it was segued into Andy Reid getting to a Super Bowl. Then it was segued to Andy Reid winning a Super Bowl. And now it's the Phillies playoff drought, and
there you go.
Now we're with the Sixers second round exit, and also every loss it's like it highlights Doc Rivers, the fear you have of a Doc Rivers led team.
I don't mind the positivity, Pat, today. I don't mind it. I don't mind a little bit of a distraction
positive.
today.
Yeah,
I don't mind
I'm
it.
just trying to.
That's
turn
what
over
you
a new
are.
leaf in this new year.
Attaboy.
Pat, by the way, I'm waving the white flag on a something that I was doing for you.
What are you doing?
Just because I constantly I'll do something to prove a point.
Yeah.
Another 5-0 week. Cowboys, Lions, Chiefs, 49ers, Chargers, just betting the money line $5 ahead on the 5 biggest favorites and walked away ahead. This week I walked away ahead $7.37.
Ooh.
So I am my first week I won $7.56. Second week I won $6.50. Third week I won $7.50. Fourth week I won $7.02. Now another $7.08. So I've made like $39 in 5 weeks.
That's good.
Every one of them a winner. 25-0.
Do you
But I didn't do now we had a listener and I sent you the one. One of our listeners has been taking it and doing it, parlaying it. He's now 4-0.
Yeah, I gotta start doing that.
The Eagles weren't one of the top 4 favorites
No,
yesterday.
they were only favored by 4.
No,
I thought it was 5.5.
And I'm not going on the on a backup quarterback. No. Not on backup quarterback crap. And it is just it's just really easy. It's one of those things where I think people are and talking to freewinners.net yesterday is a lot of people outthink things. And I think that if I had just done this and our buddy for the 4th consecutive time has done it and cashed in and sends me the picture of the ticket.
Good for him.
And I just go, why am I not doing this? So
Yeah, free money, man.
Yeah, it's free money there.
It's like a Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. You might lose a week or two,
but it'll cover.
But I mean, you might have a bad week, but you don't have a bad month.
If you had the Eagles over 1.5 first downs in the first half yesterday, you lost.
Is that a bet you can make?
I don't know. But it was over 1.5 first downs. You could have lost. You would have lost. I'm sure you get alternate lines. That's incredible.
I couldn't believe how they just sleptwalked through that first half.
My gosh.
And it was like poor decision making by the quarterback, but also poor execution by the coaching staff to put him in bad positions.
I mean, it really was. It was just. I still put that as a coach's loss. Now, now Zach Berman said quarterback loss. I say coaching staff loss. He says quarterback loss.
If I had to pick one, I'd probably go quarterback.
Because he was terrible.
I guess he was awful. And if he completes some of those passes or if he doesn't run into sacks as much as he did, we're probably talking about a different outcome. He was just horrible. Pat laid it out perfectly. It's why he's a backup quarterback in this league. Because one week he'll go for 355 and the next week he'll suck.
And I'll give again. I gave Nick Sirianni an A for last year. I think if you're a first-year coach, you take over a team and you take them to the playoffs, you get an A. In my book, that's an A. I don't care how it got there. I don't care that it was 9-8. I don't care you were a 7 seed. You got to the playoffs. That's an A job. If they win the top seed, and I said that in October, if he gets the number 1 seed in the NFC, he gets an A. So if he still can grab the A. The final exam is on Sunday. Get on out there, get this job done, and get an A.
13-4 or 14-3.
That's an A.
Yeah. So even if they,
he's an A. Now the thing is though, no, if they collapse the last 3 games, I'm not sure it's an A. I mean, it feels like it, but you and I both thought they'd win 12 games.
Yeah.
Pat and Jamie said 11. They won 13. If they lose on Sunday, they only won 1 more game than we thought they'd win, and it's got a terrible taste in our mouth. And by the way, it's a huge choke job. If you lose this, it's a huge choke.
Yeah,
I don't think it's happening.
No, me neither.
But
no,
still, though.
I think you're okay.
I don't understand though that all you needed yesterday was 21 points to clinch the top seed. You only needed 21 points, and I still can't get over the fact that they didn't let that one. That they let that one slip away.
You'll watch a game and you'll say, "Oh wow, he doesn't have it today," or he doesn't have it today. But to watch a whole team just not have it, I mean, Devontae Smith played well, and he always plays hard, as does A.J. Brown. But watching that offensive line and watching the reaction of Jason Kelsey when he committed one of the penalties, and another time when somebody else didn't, it was just like, holy hell, what are we doing here today? the fact that there were so many players that had that type of game going yesterday, it was just weird. And like I said, none of it was familiar to me. I didn't come away. That game ended yesterday. I didn't feel like I watched an Eagles game. I didn't. From the crowd reaction to the way they threw the ball, ran the ball, stopped the ball, whatever. Nothing about it felt really familiar to me yesterday.
I have something that I wanted to bring up today just in passing. We'll get to it more during the week. But talk about familiarity. Something I'm very familiar with is James Harden's camp trying to create stir behind the scenes to move on to his next location.
He is his camp.
Yep. But he claims he doesn't know anything from Woj.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that I know, and from my time at ESPN, from my time at CBS, everybody would talk about at the networks, nobody ever questioned that Woj double checks, triple checks, works every angle to cover a story. And on Christmas morning to wake up to the James Harden's camp is looking towards the exit, and that really pissed me off. And if it hadn't been from the game plan of James Harden doing that before, I wouldn't believe it. But he's done it numerous times before, so I have every reason to believe it's true, and I don't even understand what it's all about. Any idea? Any ears to the ground, Bob? I know you're off.
No, I didn't check on this over the holiday. I think it's Harden took less money this year. He's going to put it out there in the middle of the season at Christmas time that, there's other places I can go. And try to get more money out of the Sixers, I guess. I don't know. I thought it was odd.
I thought it was
the fact that there wasn't a follow-up to it, John. Because if there's a reason someone wants to leave, you say they want to leave.
Right.
You follow it up with the reason could be or the reason is. I was waiting for the story the next day or in days to come that he and, Joel Embiid don't get along, that he doesn't like Doc Rivers as a head coach, that he and Daryl Morey, while it seems like they have this great relationship, have had a falling out. None of that came about.
So what does it mean to you?
It means money. It means he put something out there saying, I could go play somewhere else if you guys aren't going to pay me. Not that he's not being paid very handsomely right now. But I think he just put it into the stratosphere of, it's still about money.
What weird timing.
Yeah, I thought it odd.
Especially when you're doing the I took less money to be here guy. Like everybody applaud me. Clap for me. I took less money. Then on Christmas Day, you're coming out with that crap. And you know where it comes from. Anybody who tries to spin it like, Woj is probably just stirring some stuff up. BS.
No, he has no reason to. That's not the job of a reporter to stir things up. A reporter doesn't go out and say, let me see. How about if I say this today and whatever? Or how about if I go ask James Harden about this?
You don't build a good reputation if that's your tactic.
No. And then to run with it. I understand sometimes you'll ask questions to see where a player's sitting. Hey, how do you like it in Philly? I could play here. I could play somewhere else next year.
And then you're like, uh-oh.
Then you're like, why? Then there's a huge follow-up and is there, a disconnect here, something. I'm really surprised there hasn't been more of a follow-up to it. It makes me think that there's a lot of things I think, but
okay.
I'm not. I don't.
Say some of it.
I don't want to put it out there to tell you the truth.
You are worried a little bit about this Eagles coaching staff, though. In Cooney's Corner, Bob thinks that maybe Good Time Charlie's could be a bit of a term.
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's Corner.
John, you've coached really good hockey teams where, maybe, I'm not going to say you didn't have to do much, but it was easier to coach them.
No question.
A lot of us have been there watching teams. You know how good they are. Throw them out there, roll the ball out there, and they're going to beat whoever. I really wonder how good Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, Jonathan Gannon are at coaching when the chips are down, because they haven't had to do it a lot this year. Now, the one time last year they did it, they were 2-5, and Steichen took over the play calling, and boom, they turned things around.
He did.
And he went to a run-heavy offense. We all know that. I just see an awful lot of coaching yesterday, coaches need to take that game by the throat.
Yeah, they do.
By the throat. And I just didn't see it happen. And I was waiting for it to happen, like some drastic change. Oh, okay. I was waiting for us to come on this show today and say, man, that was really key that he did this. And my part of the game was not going for it on fourth down. I would have punted the ball. I would have played for field position, and that's against the norm of what they normally do.
Correct.
But that shows that you're coaching the situation. I really wished I would have seen that yesterday, and it worried me a little bit that sometimes I don't see them grasping the situation of the game as opposed to just the overall team. You can have a great team. We're great at passing the ball. We're great at doing this. Okay, some days that doesn't work. You have to find something else. I worry that they don't look to find that something else. They still try to just force what works well down your throat.
Pat, what do you think? It's with his staff.
I agree to a certain extent. It's interesting. I didn't thought about it too much.
I mean, it's the idea of when this team's going well, they seem very, and it draws me back to that comment made in the post game that I'm probably reading too much into, where Sirianni says they take wins and losses the same way.
You are definitely reading into it too much.
No, Zach Berman didn't think I was, so I'll take Zach on my side.
Okay, when I say you're reading into it too much, it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't. That is correct.
And that's why I say you're reading into it too much.
No,
like,
you're correct on
him
that.
Him being
one.
delusional on how he acts after a game is like whatever. I mean,
okay,
you know.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is Zach says the same thing. This team doesn't take wins and losses the same way, and that makes me wonder. When the guy who's Good Time Charlie and feeling great and jumping up on the bench.
Good Time Charlie.
When he's selling Good Time Charlie, you've never known a Good Time Charlie?
You've never known, Pat, a Good Time Charlie?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I don't know. I've never heard that phrase before in my life.
A Good Time Charlie is when things are going well, this person's bouncing off the walls, they're happy, they're fired up and everything. First sign of adversity, they're slouching their shoulders and they're like, wait a minute, this isn't comfortable. I don't feel good with this.
Yeah, and I think my angst here also goes to the defensive side of the ball. While we talked about, look, you can't complain about 13 points. You can't.
No.
But it was, I think, third quarter, maybe late second, before Jonathan Gannon went man. And when he went man, boom, incomplete pass. After they had gone 13 for 14, throwing against the zone. 24 for 24 the week before against the zone. It's kind of blowing my mind. Like, all right, guys, what's going on here?
Adjust.
There it is.
I mean, one of the reasons why I said like I agree with you to a point is I did think about it, but then it's on the other hand I go, they're 13-3.
Sure.
They got here doing something the right way. Now it's troubling that if they fall behind, do they fall back into their old patterns? And if we didn't see what they did last season, probably wouldn't have this feeling. But then again, last season they did adjust. They just didn't do it in game, and that's why I say to a certain extent I agree with you, because in game, yeah, I am worried about if they get behind, what do? They kind of panic a little bit.
I will say it again though, is that today's not the day to lead with the defense. That first drive sucked. That first drive sucked yesterday.
Yeah,
and it sort of popped the air in the balloon because the crowd was really fired up at the beginning of that game. But when you give up 13 points, again, you would have lost 4 games in the NFL the last 2 months. I don't know what to tell you. The defense did their job, whether you liked how it was done or not, and I hate it. I hate watching that defense.
Yeah.
I don't like watching a soft, let people complete a lot of underneath stuff and everything. I hate it.
Yeah, and 9-minute drives to start a game.
That's terrible.
And then you have the injury in the middle of the drive to Josh Sweat. It just started a path to a very ugly day.
And it did.
Yeah.
Hey, Pelicans and the Sixers tonight. Our boy Todd Graffanini's in town, the voice of the Pelicans. I'm sure he's out in his walk or his run up the Rocky steps. He was going to consider doing that today.
Oh, yeah?
I'm like, don't do that. You got a Saints win. You don't need to do that. Just go on out there and have a good time. They said that we're looking for the New Orleans weekend sweep.
That's cute.
Well, they already beat
the Pelicans
them
are a good team. They're a very good basketball team, and a win tonight by the Sixers coming off a road trip. They're going to have to play well, but they have the luxury of they played Oklahoma City, not a very good team. They were able to rest Maxey and Harden. Everybody should be a go tonight. I'm expecting a good effort out of the Sixers tonight against a very good team.
Looking forward to it tonight. There's something to sort of cap off the holidays because everybody will be back to work tomorrow. I want to put somebody on the hot seat, though.
Yesterday's game has everyone talking, but one person is on the hot seat. Let's find out who.
Well, DelcoHVAC.com brings you the hot seat. That's my friends at H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. And I believe one person has to be on the hot seat. And it's not what you're thinking, because it's not a negative on his part. Jalen Hurts, welcome to the hot seat. And it's not because of anything you haven't accomplished, but they're asking you to put on this Superman cape and to step in this weekend and bail out this team because your teammates couldn't do it for you. You should have been able to just waltz your way into the number 1 seed, get as much rest as you needed, and be able to go on out there and do it. Now, they're going to ask you to come in off of injury, being a little cold, and go on out there and lead this team to the number 1 seed and clinch it all up. I know you can do it, and we have great confidence that you can, but it really sucks. And I think that makes it a hot seat this week. Lots of expectations falling on the shoulder of Jalen Hurts. He can't come out rusty. He can't come out slow. This team needs him badly on Sunday. Hey, Jalen, like the folks at Delco HVAC like to make the house a little hot? That seat's hot this week because everybody's counting on you for what they couldn't accomplish without you. Good luck. DelcoHVAC.com, they are the best. Our friends at H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. I mean, he's got it. I'm sure they expected. He did not expect to have to be able to do this. But he's probably happy, as you said. We heard with Zach Berman earlier. He's probably happy to get the chance to do it.
Yeah. He doesn't look very comfortable standing on the sideline.
No, he looks perturbed.
He looks like he would smack somebody if he could. Yeah, he doesn't like it at all. So get him to where his comfort zone is, under center.
Hey, we'll have the verdict for you from our jurors' deliberations earlier on the show. And if you want to get in with us, you can. 610-632-0975. John Kincade Show. Happy New Year. Here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I know you can start out the year strong by heading to Stretch Zone. Stretch Zone's absolutely awesome. And it's a great way to get yourself into better health routines for the beginning of the year. You lay down on a table, and the certified staff at Stretch Zone uses their patented strap system to position and stabilize you and isolate your muscles so you feel so much better, so much more flexible. It improves your circulation. It improves your range of motion. And it does all those things like with me, I never stretched. And boy, now I go to Stretch Zone. I look forward to it every single week. And if you tell them that John Kincade sent you, you can book your free 30-minute stretch session. If you want to try it, go to StretchZone.com. Book your free 30-minute stretch session at any of their 10 Delaware Valley locations. Head into the new year with a new lease on life. You're going to love it, and your muscles are going to feel more comfortable, too. Go to StretchZone.com. Tell them John Kincade sent you.
The John Kincade Show.
They put it on the air?
Of course they put it on the air. It was a big success.
On 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia. Football Monday on The Fanatic is brought to you by Pierce Phelps Bryant Heating and Cooling Contractors. Visit nopaybryant.com for flexible spending options on a new heating and cooling system.
Every small business owner knows business can happen anytime, anywhere. The office, the warehouse, or on the road. And no matter where it takes you, there's one solution to help your business thrive. Comcast Business Complete Connectivity. It's the largest, fastest, reliable network with advanced gig speed Wi-Fi and cyber threat protection in one solution. Get started with internet for just $49 a month. Plus, add Comcast Business Mobile and you can save up to 60% a year on your wireless bill. And ask how to get up to $1,000 in prepaid cards.
Flight 291 is down.
Yep, you're going places. And when you get there, be ready to do business. The complete connectivity solution from the company that powers more small businesses than any other provider. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/21/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New 50 megabits per second internet. Customers only. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Gig internet required for gig Wi-Fi. Mobile savings compares pricing of top 3 carriers.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Rob Jenners, and I am a graduate of the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, which is now the CSB Media Arts Center. I've been living my dream in radio, production, and sports broadcasting for 20 years now, thanks to CSB with the nation's most successful sports broadcasting program. We're talking sports talk, play-by-play, color commentary, get trained and get coached by the pros in just 8 to 16 weeks with a campus nearby in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center. I'm Taylor Morgan, a proud CSB grad. The instruction from true media pros and the connections that I made spawned a career that's lasted more than 30 years. What you can learn in just 2 to 4 months at CSB Media Arts Center can set you on a whole new path. Train on site or online with classes in radio, TV, podcasting, video, all that is media. There's a campus in nearby Cherry Hill. Get your start. Visit gocsb.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Changing your oil. You know, an oil change is a great way to get more MPGs. Right now, you can enter for a daily chance to win a $200 AutoZone gift card when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 Full Synthetic and an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $38.99. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
No purchase required.
For everything your business needs to make this year your year, Staples has you covered.
I need to organize all my papers and files from last year and the year before that.
Staples has you covered.
I need to clear clutter from my office and my home office and my home.
Staples has you covered with everything you need to get organized this year at amazing savings. Right now at Staples, get up to 50% off select file folders, file cabinets, file boxes, and storage bins. Make this year your year at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 128 in store only.
Penalty is charged.
If you are a personal injury attorney in the Philadelphia area, we dare you to Google, who's the best lawyer near me? If your firm does not show up on the first page of the search results, then you are guilty of marketing malpractice.
For as little as $499 per month, BuildMeABetterSite.com will create and manage your website to ensure your law firm shows up for new clients who are ready to sign. Visit BuildMeABetterSite.com for your free demo.
BuildMeABetterSite.com is a small business resource of 97.5 The Fanatic.
Guys, do you wish you could perform like the birds? You know, always rising to the occasion and scoring at will? If you're tired of watching the action from the sidelines, it's time to schedule a free consultation at Iron Mountain Men's Health. Hi, this is Dr. Avi Donapel. My team will create a custom program to treat your ED and low T that's safe, affordable, and effective. Fly like an eagle and schedule your free consultation at ironmountainmenshealth.com. Iron Mountain Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health.
97.5 The Fanatic is on a Philadelphia Flyers ticket tour presented by Coors Light. Win Flyers swag and tickets every 20 minutes, including premium seats in the Coors Light Flyers Chill Zone. 2 events left, so don't miss out. Join the Fanatic at Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne this Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. You must be 21 to win. For details, visit the events page on 97.5thefanatic.com. Coors Light, fueled by Philadelphia.
Since the dawn of time, men and women have fought over one thing, the temperature. It's too hot. It's too cold. I'm sweating. I'm freezing. It's time to end the thermostat wars with special financing offers on a high-efficiency heating and cooling system, including Trane's whole house air filtration system. You'll get even, consistent heat and breathe cleaner, healthier air. Visit Trane.com to find an independent Delaware Valley Trane comfort specialist near you. It's hard to stop a Trane. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for details.
Drought, war, and rising food prices have devastated families in poverty. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Hello? Whether you're at home or on the go, listen to 97.5 The Fanatic on Odyssey on your smartphone, Roku, LG Smart TV, Waze, and more. That's Odyssey, AUDACY. Check it out now. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
John Kincade Show on The Fanatic. First day of the new year. You know, we talked about how the Eagles potentially dodged a bullet with not going and getting Russell Wilson.
Eagles fans, that's right.
What about it's so bad. He's such a dope. He's
just cheesy.
He's just weird.
He's just a
dude. Weird cat. Well, what do you think about did they dodge a bullet with Deshaun Watson? Deshaun Watson.
I mean, yes, in many ways.
None of us wanted him on this show.
No.
But Deshaun Watson, he didn't look right either.
Looks like a guy who hasn't played football in
And that's fine. He needs a training camp and all that kind of stuff, but he just doesn't look right. Could be the Browns.
And you know what? And sorry to cut you off, Bobby.
No, good.
I love the fact that he doesn't look right.
So do
love the fact that the Browns gave up all that, and this guy looks like baby poop.
You know what sucks? It could cost, and yeah, I'm friendly with his dad. It could cost Kevin Stefanski his job.
Oh, it very well could.
They're kind of going nowhere. Now they've put all their money into this guy. I think he's going to be decent? He should be. He's still young. Pat, you're right. He hasn't played in, 2 years? So it's going to take a while for that to come back. But does it? I can't imagine being the head coach of that team. I don't know. I don't know for a fact. I haven't asked anybody if Stefanski was on board with them bringing him in. But part of you has to sit there and say, "Oh man, that's tough."
Is that because it is? It sort of is a tough.
Yeah,
it's tough trying to figure out what's gonna become of him. But I would just suggest that he is that sometimes karma does come around. Just does come around on him.
It is kind of crazy that the quarterbacks that we discuss in the offseason of trading Jalen Hurts for or replacing Jalen Hurts or whatnot have all looked really bad.
Hey, Andrew in Phoenixville joins us. Andrew, good morning. Welcome to the new year. How are you?
Good morning. Happy New Year to everybody. How are you guys?
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, Andrew.
Good. So, honestly, awful game all around yesterday. Let's just wipe it out and just forget about it, move on. But there's so much pressure on Jalen Hurts. I really feel bad for him. I know
that's what I say too. Yeah.
I feel bad for him because he looked so miserable yesterday with a headset on. I'm like, I can't. And the thought that occurred to me in his head, when I was thinking, what he was probably thinking last night, oh my gosh, I have to go back and save these guys because this backup quarterback who he brought in to do well, he did well last year against the Cowboys. Why couldn't he have done well this year? It was against the Saints. Oh my God, they are the worst in run defense. Why didn't we run the ball? That's probably
because they're smarter than this coaching staff is smarter than the room. They think they're smarter than the room,
and it's so unfortunate that Jalen Hurts has to come in and, he may be, 90% by the time the Giants game comes around, but he doesn't have Lane Johnson, so he's going to have to scramble a little bit. And, he doesn't have Maddox. Obviously, he's out.
Right. Well, we don't know what the Giants are. The thing is, though, Andrew, is that we appreciate your call. We don't know who the Giants are playing.
No.
And the 13.5-point line would suggest to me that the Giants are playing nobody. That the word is already out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too big a line to so I put a text to a buddy of mine who understands these odds really, really well, and he says they don't put out a line like that haphazard.
Oh, no.
Not at 13.5.
No.
There's too much money on the line.
No.
You'd have everybody and their brother, jumping on it that there's too much money on the line. They know something.
Yeah. Usually when you think about teams, who are the first couple names that pop into your head when you say the Giants are going to rest? You think
Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones.
Saquon Barkley, right. I don't know if they're going to rest defensive players. I don't know.
I don't think they want Kayvon Thibodeau out there.
Probably
I don't think
not.
they want their best players to have them injured before a playoff game.
Yeah. So maybe Jalen Hurts is going up against this. Look, it very well might be a tune-up game, but the Eagles can't treat it as such.
No, they can't.
I mean, this has to be a balls-to-the-wall game.
Because then, and I think the way the Giants will explain it is the Giants are in the playoffs, the Eagles are in the playoffs. So for the integrity of the game, it's not like they're keeping somebody from the playoffs or letting a team in the playoffs. And I'd have to agree with them.
Sure.
They're not.
Oh, if I was a Giants fan,
right?
No, I have no problem trying to get my team. Nothing can change into the playoffs, fully healthy. That's what you're looking for if you're the Giants.
All right, let's get to the verdict. Our jurors had a lot to say today, and the personal injury law firm of Flager and Associates are the best out there. They care, they prepare, and they win. Visit FlagerLaw.com. It was overwhelming that the coaching staff took a lot of heat, a lot of critique of the coaching staff, Gardner Minshew was obviously seen to be, from our jurors' perspective, the number one guy who looked out of sync and unprepared for the moment, unlike Flagerlaw, who always prepares. But one thing was clear is that everybody's dying to see Jalen Hurts back. And our jurors will be ready for that game on Sunday. And jurors, be ready for it. Be ready for it. We're coming together. It's going to be the biggest game of the year, and we didn't expect it to be. Thanks, Flagerlaw. We appreciate it. Our last regular season juror contributions coming your way next Monday after the Eagles hopefully clinch the number one seed. Finally. Get to it. Jason in Ben Salem joins us on The Fanatic. Jason, good morning.
How you guys doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, Jace.
Yeah, about this game yesterday. I'm also, like the previous caller said, they got the best passing, one of the better passing defenses. They can run the ball against them. Why not hand the ball off? I know it's an audition for Gardner Minshew. I understand that, but don't you want to show the guy can manage a game as opposed to this horrible game plan they put out there? I don't understand.
It's crazy to me. It's crazy that that's the approach that they took.
And now next week you have to have a great game plan for New York, who you might now see in the playoffs as well as Dallas and Green Bay and everybody else.
I don't think you do, though. Not if they're not starting there. I don't think you have to have a great I don't think you have to open your playbook.
It can't be vanilla though.
No, it can't be too vanilla.
You got to win it. It's a must win now. I mean, it has to be. You can't just try to. Let's just not open our playbook all the way and hope we get it. You have to go all the way in. I would. I mean,
they dominated.
Jalen get hurt.
They dominated the Giants starters, though. Thank you for your call. Happy New Year. They dominated the Giants starters so completely. Not even a matter of a bit of go. If you tell me that the Giants are going to sit out key players, then, and by the way, I'm not scared if they do start Daniel Jones. I'm not scared if they do. I will be a hell of a lot more anxious about the outcome. But I'm not thinking, they start Daniel Jones, you're losing the game right now.
No. The Eagles are still the better team. Look, the Eagles have this week to get themselves fully prepared for a football game that they must win on Sunday or Saturday. Sunday. We do know Sunday now.
Sunday, yes.
That's the way you have to look at it. Right. I mean, this is forget buys and forget everything else. Plan with your full team on going into this game and winning it as best you can. Just like it's week 8, 9, whatever. That's how you have to go this week. There's no resting. Then if you get to halftime and you're up 35-3,
that's different.
Okay, you adjust there. But no, you go into this week, like I said, balls to the wall. This is, to me, it's almost like a playoff game. No, you just prepare that your starters are going to go 60 minutes, that you're going to play your ass off, that you're going to come with the best kind of game plan on both sides of the ball that's going to get you a win, and go out and execute it for as long as you have to.
I'd like to address the emergency quarterback Ian Book, as you said yesterday, Bob. We talked about it off the air.
Yeah.
That if the Eagles had won yesterday, you said you would have started Ian Book on Sunday.
Yeah.
Against the Giants.
Sure.
Because you wouldn't have wanted to risk Gardner Minshew.
Exactly. I would have gone all the way there. Yeah.
And I think everybody would have been in full support at that point.
Yeah, sure. If they won and clinched yesterday, and Jalen Hurts is still, air quotes, dealing with a shoulder. Right. No, I'm not putting his back up in harm's way. Hell no. Ian Book, it's all you, baby.
And that's another thing that they got to risk here. I mean, this is just so bad. Here's one thing, though, with the way things shook out yesterday. San Francisco's now the 2 seed. So San Francisco plays the 7 team in the wild card. If Seattle wins, they're the 7. So it's one of the things where you talked about it. Divisional games you don't want to play in the wild card round.
No.
San Francisco could end up having to play a divisional opponent who they've already played twice, and the last time they played it was a 1-touchdown game. And then for the Giants, I think the Giants got to be thrilled sitting there in the 6th seed right now because they're going to go to Minnesota. And on Christmas Eve, they played that game in Minnesota. It was tied with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I don't think they're scared of the Vikings.
Vikings are hitting that lull in the season at the wrong time. They just got absolutely manhandled yesterday.
That was weird to show up so poorly.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson, 1 catch for 15 yards. Odd. Green Bay is now with Aaron Rodgers playing their best football of the season. So now that's another team in the NFC that you say, ooh, do you have to look out for them? You know,
Well, no, what if Green Bay? I mean, if Green Bay somehow snuck in, Seattle loses, Green Bay wins, they beat Detroit. It's going to be Green Bay Detroit winner if Seattle loses. That's the 7 seed. If Seattle loses the game, it's the Green Bay Detroit winner. Could you see Green Bay going to San Francisco and winning?
I don't put anything past Aaron Rodgers. I really don't.
Remember, San Francisco went to Green Bay last year and beat them.
Yeah, San Fran has a really good defense, though.
They do. They really do.
And 9 in a row is 9 in a row. Does it concern you? You know, we've always heard it. Well, it would have been nice if they had a loss in there somewhere.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, that's weird. They're playing good football, and they're fine. You know, yesterday they beat a horrible and an organization that is just in shambles in Las Vegas, and they win in overtime. But good teams that are playing good find ways to win on days that they don't play their best.
How about, though, you talk about that with the Vegas Raiders, that Jarrett Stidham comes in and he has the best offensive day of any game all year against the 49ers defense.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's the NFL.
It's just, and Jamie always says that it's weird. It's weird.
It's
weird.
absolutely weird.
That makes no sense.
No.
That Jarrett Stidham comes in and he's that good.
Yeah.
And I watched him play in college, and he wasn't that good. And to watch him yesterday, and the one thing that was weird to me is, though, we were all wondering about the Raiders and Derek Carr and sending him home and everything. Did you watch the players on the side? Did you get to see any of that game at all on the ticket?
I did not.
The Vegas players were very engaged yesterday. They were very engaged. They were very with Stidham on the sidelines and very much. It didn't seem like a team that was like pissed off that the quarterback was gone.
Yeah.
To me, and I don't want to read too much into it, but it didn't seem like a team that was like sulking or going, "Wow, we missed that Derek Carr's not here." They played their asses off yesterday against a defense that is brutal to play against in San Francisco. San Francisco is the scariest proposition for the Eagles.
I think so.
Point blank.
Yeah, I think so. Dallas, I think Jamie said it yesterday. While on the outside, we'd be bravado saying, yeah, bring on Dallas for a playoff game. On the inside, he'd be shaking like a leaf.
Yeah, because you don't want to lose that game to Dallas.
Yeah. And you know, come playoff time, I don't care who it is. It's going to be they're going to be tough games.
Yes.
There's not many times you see absolute blowouts in NFL playoffs. It doesn't happen a lot because teams are in the playoff for a reason. And that's because they're good enough to be there. I think this Eagles team, the roster is more talented than probably anybody they'll face, but they have to get back to that level of play. And I think it starts this week. I am not taking this week for granted at all.
No, you can't.
And I mean in the sense of not taking it for granted that I don't want them winning a close game. I want the Eagles to play pretty much up to their best game because they need to do that right now because they haven't done it in a while.
No, they really do. They absolutely do. I just am, and I'm fascinated to hear how the fan base will react throughout the course of the week. Everybody will be back to work tomorrow and getting their feet under them again. And it's almost like this was an unexpected end to the season. But again, everything that they want is in front of them.
Yeah.
And it's not like the disaster hasn't happened yet. The ship has not hit the iceberg. I don't know if you can turn the ship. I do believe that there's a great chance they can turn the ship and find a way to be okay. But it's aggravating. It's aggravating that this is where we're at.
I don't feel
I don't. You wanted them to play more.
Only because it's not their. Well, they did lose a game yesterday. They shouldn't. But you can't help it that Dallas is 12-4. You can't help it that there's somebody right on your ass when you're at 13-3. I don't know if I can ask much more out of this Eagles team. It just so happens there's another team right on their butts because they're playing really good football also. Clinching this next week, that's okay. That's fine with me. You're still going to get the bye week. You're still going to have home field advantage. It's okay. I don't mind this game having a little extra juice to it. I'd rather play a hard game going into a bye week than playing my backups and then going into a bye week also.
I thought I saw Andrew Salchunas out there.
Yeah, Chunas is here.
Chunas is here in the building, ready to, I guess, coalesce with the with whatever the fans are feeling, whatever it's feeling like today. And I would imagine that I'm shocked because I expected, even the people who chatted with us this morning, I expected a little more of an overreaction. And I'm glad that we didn't get it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't get it. I mean, we got aggravation, but we did not get the overreaction because some of these people, we're done. It's over. It's done.
Yeah, we didn't get that at all.
No, and I'm glad of that.
Me too. And I think there's a couple reasons. One, coming off the holiday, a lot of people aren't working today, so maybe they're not, full in. You're pissed off you have to go to work, and you're pissed off that the Eagles lost. That's not happening. 2, it was the backup quarterback. 3, I thoroughly believe, and I think this city does, yesterday was an anomaly. That was. That was unrecognizable yesterday. And as much as it sucks, all that, I don't anticipate that happening again this season. Not even a little bit. And
no, that was the worst.
It was the backup quarterback who was horrible.
He was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, he was terrible. Anything, too, the whole Minshew stuff, the guy living in his van and the stupid costumes to work and all that kind of stuff, that's fun when you're winning.
Yeah, exactly.
When you play like that, it just pissed me off even more yesterday.
I mean, Jalen Hurts showed up yesterday with a
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air
Fresh
jersey.
Prince of Bel-Air jersey.
Bel-Air Academy.
Okay, if he played yesterday like Minshew, we'd be making fun of what he wore.
Yes, absolutely. He's having some fun yesterday. He knows he's not going to work.
Exactly.
I mean, he's just going on there on the sideline.
Yeah, it reminds me of the scene in Bull Durham. He's like, look, man, if you win 20 games in the show, people will say you're colorful for having mold on your sandals.
Right.
But if you don't win 20 games, you're just a slob. Now, I like
Good point.
I like Gardner Minshew. I like the fact, he's unique, he's quirky, I get it. A lot's made of all the van stuff, but yeah, at the end of the day.
Although he makes a lot of the van stuff.
Well, but also, I mean, I think he's realized that he is his own brand, so he will stick around as some sort of figure, maybe not necessarily in the sport, but in the media or something. By being, I mean, look, Pat McAfee is a giant in NFL media. He's a damn punter. But he did it because he was quirky and he had a character.
And he's
got a great personality.
Strong opinions.
There's no doubt that when Gardner Minshew's done playing in the NFL, he could have a similar career because he's a fun guy.
He's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, exactly.
So you do think
he's poor man's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Great way to put it.
So you do think he's going to have like a colorful career?
If he wants to.
Really?
Yeah, I think if he wants to, he could definitely have that. His interview with Rich Eisen around Minshew Mania when the Jaguars had him and whatnot, and Rich Eisen's going through his draft profile of all of his faults, and he's agreeing with all of them, was hysterical. The self-awareness of the guy I don't get the feeling it's like an act, his whole look and everything. I get the feeling like he's very self-aware.
Wait a minute. He purposely tries to dress like he's from Top Gun or tries to do
we got a guy here that does that.
Well, I know
that's
we have
him. That's Connor's Connor.
They share that same thing, but it's a decision
it's
you're making.
It's a quest to get laid.
It's a decision.
For Connor, he's unsuccessful. For Gardner, he's probably very successful.
You think he's very successful?
Even after yesterday's game.
Even after yesterday?
I'm sure there was somebody in the DMs that was willing to make him forget.
How do you know these things? Or you're just assuming?
I used to live that life.
Oh, okay.
Pat walked that path at one time.
There was a life before you knew me, Bobby.
I'll bet there was.
There was that Katie at the ice cream shop.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a men's league champion, you get certain
perks. Do you
perks
carry
in life.
around the trophy like Connor?
No.
High school state champion you are. A high school state champion you are.
I was not a high school state champion.
I thought you were the chess team.
No, I was the Catholic League champion on the chess team.
I thought you were state champion.
Catholic League's actually better.
But, I mean, who in Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania is going to give us a run for the money? Nobody.
Good point.
Back in 2006, no one.
Nobody's going to do that.
Could have gotten it. Any nerds.
Checkmate. So we now go to checkmate. We now go to the next level, which is preparation for Sunday. And as you heard Zach Berman say to us, it appears he would expect it to be the last. Now, he's thinking they start all the games late. I don't believe they're going to do that.
Somebody texted me that they heard the Eagles are at 1.
Really? I have not seen an official announcement from the Eagles yet.
No, I haven't seen anything either.
Everything is listed at 1, as far as that, as I can see. If there's any word on that, though I would believe you let the other teams play first, and then where one of them you think San Francisco wins or Dallas wins, and then it pushes the Eagles to go on out there and win. That then the Eagles have a must-win to get the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
And you hold the Eagles for the later game. But, man, if the Giants aren't playing their starters, that could be the biggest crap game ever. I mean, it could just be really, really bad. Hey, it's going to be a big, big week. We'll be all over it. We thank you for joining us to start out 2023. Hopefully, we're going to have an amazing January that leads to an amazing February. So support life-saving cancer research. Join us and our generous partners, Win Donation. And go make a donation today to the American Association for Cancer Research. You can do it at 975thefanatic.com/AACR because cancer research saves lives. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. And Andrew